ensuring transparency and honesty in all relationships, valuing an inclusive and accepting environment, holding one another accountable, encouraging partnerships that support our mission, and creating a culture of lifelong learning. Before we officially call the meeting to order, I'm going to hand this over to Vice President Swanger for a memoriam.
Thank you. Tonight we would like to honor Judy Height. Judy Height passed away on July 18th. Judy was devoted more than 3 decades to shaping young lives as a special education teacher. She began her teaching career at Edison schools, later taught at Winford local schools, but spent the majority of her career with Marion City schools. She had a remarkable gift for connecting with her students, always developing a special bond with the children she taught and encouraging them to reach their fullest potential. Judy loved playing bingo, especially during her later years at Primrose Retirement Community in Marion. Family card games were another favorite pastime, and back alley bridge being the game of choice, though she also enjoyed playing Uno. Judy will be remembered for her loving heart and her compassionate spirit. She had a wonderful sense of humor and a willingness to help anyone in need. And I remember Judy Height was teaching here when I first started at Harding High School, so I know she did special ed at Harding, so we just want to honor the life of Judy Height.
Thank you, Vice President Swanger. So officially call the meeting to order. If you would please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for 30 seconds of silence for Judy Allen Height. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. James, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Geyer?
Here.
Ms. Swanger?
Present.
Mr. Whiteley?
Here.
Mrs. Dyer?
Here.
And Mr. Ratliff?
We shall see. Okay, it takes us to agenda item number 3, agenda confirmation. Additions and deletions to the agenda. Do we have any motions for any additions or deletions? Okay, seeing that there are none, we'll move to agenda item 3B, approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Make a motion.
There is an item on the additions and deletions to the agenda.
Oh, thank you for catching that. For item 14 under new business.
Remove
for
Renee
14 Yes.
Lixonen
Good luck with the last
from
name.
stack.
Let's see. Well, that's under the consent calendar. We wait until we get there?
Oh, we can.
Okay. Hmm? Well, let's just do it now while we've
Do it
already
now.
paused it. Okay. I'll make a motion to remove Renee Laxonen from the stack training item under 14, new business, item J.
I will second.
And I apologize really quick. This is my first time in board docs. For some reason, the motions and the seconds aren't coming up, so if you could just please forgive me and making notes on them.
Not a problem.
So that Mr. Whiteling.
Correct.
Okay, roll call, Mr. Whiteling.
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer.
Yes.
Ms. Swanger.
Yes.
Mr. Geyer.
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Again, to repeat, agenda item 3B, approval of the agenda with that change. I will make a motion to approve the agenda as now presented.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Weibling,
Yes.
Ms. Swanger,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer.
Yes.
Mr. Greider.
Yes.
Okay, takes us to agenda item number 4, Superintendent's Report. Mr. Murphy.
Thank you, President Wyman. First and foremost, this evening, I would like to introduce from Tri-Rivers, Dr. Pam Noth, and I guess it's fair to say you're still kind of new, right? Kind of new. But I'd like to introduce Pam. She's going to come up and she's going to talk about the exciting things happening at Tri-Rivers coming up here in the fall, and it looks like former board member Ted decided to join as well.
Okay, I have a couple gifts for you.
Use that microphone.
Here's our first gift. Our first gift is a,
You may have to click the mic. Thank you.
Is it on?
Is it on 50 years? It's cool. A lot of times it clicks off on its own. There you go. There you go.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
First gift, first of all, thank you for having me tonight. I appreciate your invitation and Desire's invitation. I think one of my goals is to get around and see some of the boards and meet some of the local boards. It is part of our strategic plan that I'm going to share with you a little bit to increase our partnerships, increase our business and community partnerships. So the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is we would like to invite you on September 24th, save the date. We're going to have Tri-Rivers 50th anniversary celebration, 50 years of Tri-Rivers. So kind of blessed to come in at this time as the 7th superintendent of Tri-Rivers. But on this evening, we're going to have fireworks, we'll have food trucks, we'll have touch-a-truck, so it'll be a family event. Bring all this, your family and your kids, and we hope that you can come and see that. You'll get some tours. So this is kind of a formal invitation for you guys. The second thing I'm going to hand you, I brought you, these are hot off the press. You guys will be the first people wearing these shirts. And they are our 50-year celebration shirts. So I brought some different sizes. If I don't have your size or something like that, please, I will get it, but pass those around. Here's a couple here. These are mediums. Here's some larges you can pass around, and some extra larges if you would like. So our students will also get them this year. They say our slogan is 50 years, countless futures. So we certainly thank the Marion community and Marion City Schools for being a big part of those 50 years and countless futures. So hot off the press, I literally pulled them right out of the warehouse this afternoon because I said that's what I'm taking to Marion City. So here. And Mrs. Dyer and Mr. McInnes and our board sort of asked me to talk a little bit about our goals at Tri-Rivers for the future. So this is a draft. We are currently working on some strategic planning. Our board will be doing some review of this on Wednesday, in fact, and as will our students in September, and then our community in October. That's an invitation you'll receive too, to come to that planning to kind of review these. But as a draft, this is what we have, and I'll just tell you real quickly our 3 goals right now going into Tri-Rivers 2030. So first of all, our goal is to provide an inclusive environment to make sure we're educating all students. You might know at Career Tech, we get pretty much all God's children. We get the valedictorians, and we also get kids who really, really struggle. Well, it's incumbent upon us to figure out the best ways and to educate our staff and to bring in the best education to serve all those students. I always believe that every kid can benefit from Career Tech. So I think once kids get there and find their passion, it's really hard to stop them. But we also have to be proactive in educating them as career and technical education students. So that's among our first goals. Our second goal you'll see is communication, enhanced communication. Inclusive of that is increasing our business partnerships in the community, increasing our partnerships in our school districts and in the 3 counties with our community partners in the county. So that is in there. And then our third goal is growth. How do we manage our growth strategically? Some of that is partnerships, and we've even talked with Marion City about the potential of OTC Plus and satellite partnerships here on site so that we can serve more students and adult education students. That's an example of our growth, and because again, I'm just a big believer that every student can benefit from career and technical education. So we would like to expand kind of our growth there to what makes sense so that every student does have that opportunity to get career and technical education. So among our 3 goals, you'll see those in the strategic plan. There are a number of objectives too that we'll kind of sort through. But really, we want to be, our job now more than ever in career tech is to be that CTPD, that partner, that good, that far-reaching business partner, that good community member, and things like that, to really to serve all students in all 3 counties. So, can I answer any initial questions? I don't want to take all the time. I think I didn't want Brian to hook me off the stage either, so I told him I would not get hooked off the stage, I promise. But can I answer any questions for you initially?
Dr. Nath, do you want to talk about the grant that we just received in partnership with, or does Mr. Murphy want to talk about that partnership?
I can certainly speak to it. We just, there were 10 recipients in the state of Ohio that received the CTE Access Grant, and we were blessed enough to be one of them. Part of that programming is increasing our OTC Plus and reach in the adult community. So we have worked closely too with Marion City also on another grant, which we should find out September 1st. It's a BlackRock grant, and that would also be touching here specifically with satellite programming. But I think that is a perfect example of our third goal. We're really trying to reach that and increase that access, and we were lucky enough from the state of Ohio to be one of those recipients. So this year's the planning year, but we'll be in more discussions and underway very soon with partnerships like Marion City. Goodwill is a very big partner with us in that, among 5 or 6 of our Whirlpool other business partners as well.
Well, I can tell you, we certainly appreciate, since you've been in the seat, reaching out, being very collaborative, scheduling meetings, being very open to conversation about growth and improvement between, Tri-Rivers and Marion City Schools and the other districts. I've heard the superintendent say the same thing, so thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just have one, and I'll just be totally transparent. This is a me issue, not a school issue. But I know you guys have the career tech for students. You also have adult education classes. Sure. Do you ever consider just doing like temporary classes or just shortened classes like basic home maintenance? So like people like myself could come in and get I'm just saying, full transparency. Yes, but just learn basic things and just have like short, maybe, a 2-month segment, or where people could come in and do like that extra learning or
Microwave.
microwave. I take students on mission trips. So, if we could go out and just learn some basic stuff, bring some of them, they learn some basic stuff so that they're better prepared when they go out.
Yeah, that, to your point, without going too far in the weeds about OTC Plus, that is a little bit what that is. Those are shorter, and those are sort of micro-credentials, so there are a number of them. We also do some customized training, and that would have to be sponsored by community or business, but they are those shorter term pieces that we do. So we would be open to a discussion on that. We have a lot of meetings right now on the vision of that, but that is what we're trying to get for kids too. For students, like we have a lot of students that may not have got, they didn't get into welding, for example. That we have shorter term 6-week credentials they can get. But yes, I mean, the great thing about career tech is kind of the sky's the limit. So we do have all of those possibilities. So that would just be, let's get together and talk about that. We just talked about driver's education the other day and did a piece on that. So it is Let's talk, I'm open to listening to it. I will not teach that class, but, you don't want me to teach that class, but we would be happy. I have lots of people on staff that would be probably pretty good at that, so.
Did you have anything? Well, first of all, thank you for joining us tonight. Board Member Dyer, I think it was in May or June when she said, you know, I would like to spread the word more and to be more inclusive with Tri-Rivers at our board meetings in terms of, again, sharing information. And as Ms. Swanger brought up, and you're so welcoming of that, to share ideas and have those discussions. So thank you very much, and a great way to kick off the year with, you know, starting with the Tri-Rivers, you know, just recognizing what you're doing out there, and again, true collaboration between our districts. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Gotcha.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for the gear.
Gotcha. Can we get a picture in the back, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely.
let's do that.
One of the shirts.
Take your word for it. Missed you.
Just remember on those gifts, if it's over $50, you have to claim it on your taxes. Just heads up.
Pretty sure a T-shirt is not over 50.
I hope not. Pick a t-shirt.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, that takes us to agenda item 4B under the superintendent's report, school-based health center resolution. Mr. Murphy.
Okay, recommending a resolution for the authorizing a partnership with Center Street Community Health Center for the establishment of a school-based health center. This has been a year in the making, a good year, I would say. I think we went, where's Nicole? I think we went about a year, it would have been last May, it was May. So a May ago, so more than a year ago, we went to Toledo area. We visited a couple health centers there. We sat down with Health Partners of Western Ohio, with their CEO, had a good meeting regarding the process and educating Community Street on that process, and just, you know, talking about what our partnership will look like. Been working on it ever since. And we are here today, happy to report that we are ready to open a health center over at Grant. And I won't get into all the research about it. I think I've given some board updates on that, but it is a game changer for schools, especially at Grant. Can be a game changer for our community as well, the other elementary schools. So we are very excited to bring this resolution forward for the board to take action on tonight.
Okay, and we will take formal action. I'm going to read this first. Nicole Rich, we haven't met yet. Is that Nicole? This will be the longest introduction you've ever had before you speak, probably. So here we go, and then we'll do a vote afterwards. A resolution authorizing a partnership with Center Street Community Health Center for the establishment of a school-based health center. Resolution number 817, 2026. Whereas the Marion City School District Board of Education recognizes that student health and wellness are directly connected to student attendance, engagement, academic success, and overall well-being, and whereas Marion City Schools is committed to supporting the whole child and reducing barriers that may prevent students and families from accessing needed healthcare services, and whereas Center Street Community Health Center and Marion City Schools have developed a partnership to establish a school-based health center at Grant Middle School to provide convenient access to high-quality healthcare services within the school community. And whereas the project has received state grant funding to support the renovation, development, and startup of the school-based health center, and whereas anticipated services may include preventive care, immunizations, physical examinations, and sports physicals, treatment of minor illnesses and injuries, medication management, and management of chronic health conditions such as asthma and diabetes, with the potential for additional services to be added in the future based upon identified needs. And whereas Center Street Community Health Center will provide appropriately licensed healthcare professionals to deliver services through the school-based health center and will be responsible for the clinical operation, medical oversight, patient billing, and delivery of healthcare services. And whereas student participation in healthcare services through the school-based health center will be voluntary and opt-in with appropriate parent or guardian consent required in accordance with applicable law, and patient confidentiality and privacy will be protected in the same manner as in other healthcare settings. And whereas the school-based health center is intended to complement rather than replace existing relationships students and families may have with their current healthcare providers. And whereas Ohio law, including Ohio Revised Code Section 3313.721, authorizes boards of education to enter into agreements with appropriately licensed healthcare providers for the provision of authorized healthcare services to students, now therefore be it resolved that the Marion City School District Board of Education hereby approves and supports the establishment of a school-based health center at Grant Middle School in partnership with Center Street Community Health Center, authorizes the superintendent and treasurer to negotiate, finalize, and execute all agreements, memoranda of understanding, facility use documents, and other instruments necessary to implement and operate the school-based health center, subject to review by legal counsel and consistent with this resolution. Number 3, authorizes the use and renovation of designated space at Grant Middle School for purposes establishing and operating the school-based health center consistent with applicable grant requirements, district policies, building requirements, and applicable law. Number 4, requires that Center Street Community Health Center maintain responsibility for appropriate professional licensure, clinical operations, patient records, billing, regulatory compliance, liability coverage, and healthcare services provided through the school-based health center as further outlined in the final agreement between the parties. Number 5, requires that healthcare services provided to students be subject to appropriate parental or guardian consent and opt-in procedures as required by law and the final operating agreement. Number 6, authorizes the superintendent and treasurer to approve reasonable administrative or operational modifications to the partnership that do not materially alter the intent of this resolution. And number 7, directs the administration to provide appropriate communication to students, families, staff, and the community regarding available services, eligibility, consent procedures, hours of operations, and the anticipated opening of the school-based health center. Be it further resolved that the board recognizes this partnership as an important component of Marion City Schools' commitment to improving access to health care, reducing barriers to student attendance and learning, supporting the whole child, and inspiring a community of achievement. I would be honored to make a motion. Do we have a second?
Second. Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Swanger,
Yes.
Mr. Guyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weidling,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer.
Yes.
And Mr. Murphy, I will turn it back over to you.
Yeah, so Nicole and Samantha, I'd like to invite you guys up here to say a few words if you would like to.
Flyers to share with you guys. I don't know that I have enough, I apologize.
Okay.
But I do words to say.
It's on.
I just wanted to let you guys know that we are super excited to share with you today this whole upcoming opening of the school-based health centers. We are definitely excited over at Center Street Health Center to be able to do this. It represents a wonderful opportunity for the schools, for us to have a partnership and, you know, to support these students for their health and their well-being, where they learn and grow. Our team is excited to collaborate with educators, staff, and families to create a healthy, supportive environment for every student. We'll provide essential medical services, including wellness checkups, immunizations, and health education. Our goal is to remove barriers to healthcare and ensure that students have access to the care that they need to succeed. Looking ahead, we do hope to expand services and deepen our partnership with the school community, always prioritizing the health and success of our students. We are grateful for this opportunity, and we look forward to making a positive impact. You guys have any questions?
Any questions? Yeah, the only thing I would like to add is that you all have been such great partners through this process. And the bulk of the work to get this moving is on the partner. It's not necessarily our Marion City Schools. Like, we certainly have some prep work to do internally and collaboration and the space and so forth, but a lot of the work is always on the actual health center. So you guys were great. We truly appreciate the collaboration. I think this is something that we're just getting started that's going to turn into something great for the community. And so thank you for your support. And I remember we all there were probably 12 or 13 of us on that trip. If you remember, I took a picture, and when we took that picture, I said, you watch, this is going to turn into something special. So here we are, 14 months later, we actually are opening up, making it happen. So I'll make sure I post that on social media and tell Cliff that he remember we talked about that too.
Yes,
So
yes, we just need a lot of yeses from you guys, but thank you for approaching us to start the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's something that we definitely wanted to do for a very long time, so now that we're given this opportunity, we're ready to thrive.
Yeah.
And
I want to mention too that originally, you know, my loyalty in some sense was Western Health Partners of Western Ohio, who's originally out of Lima, and now they have health centers in different spots because I worked with them to open 6 of these, and they were really good. When I talked to the CEO there, the first thing that he or she said was, "Do you know Cliff?" And I said, "No, who's Cliff?" And then she went on to tell me stories about Cliff, or he went on to tell me stories about Cliff, about how much he liked Cliff and so forth. And he said, "I cannot come to Marion unless you talk to Cliff first." You know, and so Ann had nothing but raving reviews about Cliff and Center Street. So, and I reached out, and you know, she was 100% correct. They are great. So, very happy. So, thank you.
Well, my only question was going to be, what do you need from us now? And you already said a lot of yeses in the future. So I'll remember you said that. So, gotcha, fair enough. We'll remember that too. Anything else?
No, I just thank you, and I
Yes.
think, again, this is going to help our families, and we also know that the students who feel better academically do better, so this is just, it's a win-win all the way around. So thank you.
Gotcha. And
So is this just going to be at Grant, and will they deal with referrals, or how are we going to, Grant's going to be an amazing resource for us since we're doing the other stuff
hub
with
there.
United Way. So Grant is going to be an amazing, and I know a couple years ago, Rod Irusi had kind of looked into this school-based stuff, and so I got a little research on that. But how is this going to, is it going to be a district-wide, or the students just at Grant, or what's your vision?
right now, it's going to be set up for all Marion City Schools students,
Okay.
so the whole district. So
Okay.
what will happen or possibly happen, the school will offer the transportation for the students that need to come from all the elementaries
Okay.
or even the high school if they're not driving yet. Now, we do understand that that's not always going to happen as far as there might be someone else transporting. So what we'll do is send over our nurse to whatever school the student is sick or needing something, and we'll do a telehealth appointment.
Oh, okay. That's- all right.
And telehealth equipment, is that going to be in every elementary school?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if not, if for some reason, I mean, like I said, we'll send the nurse,
Yeah.
with that equipment, whatever's
Yeah.
needed.
I do like the sports physicals, Nicole, because you know that's a barrier for a lot of our student athletes. So I see nothing but good from this.
Okay. And Nicole, I misspoke earlier. We haven't met. I'm used to seeing you at track meets and such, so my apologies. I was like, wait a minute, my apologies for that. Yes. Gotcha, that's
Do you
fine.
want to
So-
introduce Samantha? She is being shy, but maybe you just introduce who she is.
So this is Samantha Warwick. Some of you may know her, but she is going to be our school nurse, and also she is going to be the over the services. So she's going to oversee a lot of our stuff, kind of play a couple of roles with us. Of course, when you first get a school-based grant, you're not getting like all the money that you want. You're getting the planning amount. You're getting pretty much just what's needed. So she's going to be a couple people. She may be a receptionist right off the rip, our school nurse, and our health center nurse, and then of course our medical assistant. But we will be hiring a nurse practitioner, so we will have a provider. We're in the works for that right now. So yep, we'll do that for the beginning. Not sure how many months we'll handle it like that, and then eventually we'll hire.
Can we make a request that in maybe whatever's easier, I guess more appropriate, December or January, just to get an update in terms of where we are, if that's too soon or if it's whatever.
Yeah,
We'll let you handle
absolutely.
that, but yeah, an update for this, so the community knows as well too, so.
Yep.
Okay.
And I do think our goal is to be up and running by the second week of October. Of course, that's all going to, I think that'll be the latest that we'll be up and running, because we have to be up and running within 90 days of our grant. So, but, you know, once the walls go up, things will happen really quick.
Okay, sounds good.
So have you started anything? Because it's going to be what, on the second floor at Grant? Where is it? Where is it located?
Orchestra room.
Oh,
Yeah.
the orchestra room.
That side right there, we have a couple art classrooms where the orchestra, we use the performing arts grant to move the orchestra, so that worked out well. So we use all grant dollars connected to this to make it happen. But ideally, I would love, the vision is in the future, the hub will be on the second floor. You're probably thinking about the hub.
Yeah.
That'd be on the second floor the first year, but ideally, we would like to eventually move the hub after the first year down in that same area where the health center will be. And I would love to turn that in, it's like a square, as you know. I would love to turn that into a community center part of the school. So we have nothing but partners in that area of the building working with our students and our families.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
There
this
is some logistic things with a couple of art classes that are back there. You know, we have a kiln back there. Like, those things are not easy to move, so we have to plan for that here the next year for that.
And so they're not on our website. You're on your own separate website then?
Well, the Center Street Health Center is, but actually the consent forms for all parents and guardians to sign, that will be uploaded onto your website, the Marion City Schools. More information will come.
Okay.
As of for tomorrow for the open house, we do have consent forms ready to go for anybody who's going to be there tomorrow night, wants to go ahead and sign their kiddos up. Moving forward though, once we actually open up the health center, then we'll be able to distribute those forms out to parents and guardians to get the rest of it, of course, you know, filled in, whether it's demographics and things like that.
What do you mean, sign your kiddo up? What does that mean?
It's an opt-in or an opt-out.
Okay.
So, ideally, we want everyone to opt in, you know, we just want them to go ahead and say yes, but we definitely are giving everyone that choice.
Yeah. Ideally, we would like to be easy access for our kids. So if parents would opt in, and more parents we could get to opt in, the easier it would be for us to transition when they need that assistance from the health center. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to get a picture to bookend the picture you took 14
Yeah, we'll
months ago.
put them together. Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah,
since
14 months later,
since
yeah.
the treasurer was specifically mentioned twice in the resolution, the treasurer also needs part of this picture, so.
Yeah, that's
there we
right.
go. Gotcha.
I just saw that QR code on there.
If I go too fast, let me know. Don't. Do not hesitate. What's that?
Do we need to vote on this?
We already did the resolution. We voted on the resolution, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, we did, yeah, we did.
On B. She was letter C. She had her own section.
Kathy.
Okay, Mr. Murphy, anything else on the superintendent's report?
Lastly, just want to welcome everyone back to a new school year. It's been, last week was a great week. We had so many events and activities, staff meetings, convocation, teacher orientation, a lot of things happening. I don't think things could not have went better than they have in the last week. So knock on wood, things are going really well. We're excited. I think convocation was a big hit. I want to thank our staff, Gary and Julie, and everybody that helped plan for that. Hamish Brewer was a tremendous speaker. A lot of compliments about convocation, about that being the best one in the career of people that have been here. So I was glad to hear that. And so with some of the challenges and obstacles we had last year, it was a little difficult, but I think got our feet underneath us, and we're in a good spot, and we're ready to move forward and have a tremendous year. So don't forget to parents out there that open houses are tomorrow night. It's amazing to me the number of people on Facebook that instant message me to ask me that. Probably got 20 of those. But it is tomorrow night, so we'll see everybody then.
Gotcha. I'd like to reiterate that thank you from the board. Anytime we can have a relevant and encouraging and motivating convocation day, thank you very much. That's no small thing to happen. So, and Ms. Swanger, I heard that your speech was quite inspiring as well. So thank you very much. Yes, that's what I heard. So,
$20 drop, or half $20.
yes. So
I think she
Okay.
did
Well
have
done.
the mic drop of the day.
gotcha.
Yeah. Maybe
Perfect.
she should be like Hamish and go around and speak.
Get to do that every year then. Okay. All right. Thank
We're
you.
not going to forget that. You're on for next year.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Moving on to number 5, Assistant Superintendent's Report. Dr. Kinney.
Thank you.
You're good.
Good. Okay, sorry. I'd like to talk about our staff members of the year. Last week at convocation, we recognized 3 staff members for their outstanding service to our community and our school district. We, for the first time, recognized a support staff member of the year and a teacher of the year. This is the second year for our Principal of the Year award. We have 2 of those members here tonight out of the 3. First, I'd like to talk about the support staff member of the year. Randy Potts is one of our bus drivers. In order to be selected for this award, there were several criteria that had to be met. Work ethic, teamwork, professionalism, positive impact. And some of the comments that were said about Randy included his dependability and regular attendance at work. He doesn't miss very often. He goes above and beyond on tasks and responsibilities, has a positive attitude towards work, positive relationships with staff and students. He accepts extra work when asked, and before taking time off, he even checks to see if we have enough drivers. He is a commendable human, and just want to say thank you again. So Randy, if we could maybe give you a round of applause. I've got a little letter here for you, and a thank you.
Do all pictures at once? Can we just do all the pictures at the end? Is that possible?
We'll get you.
Okay. Just to save time.
You're not getting out of the picture either. We'll do that after.
Our next award was Teacher of the Year. Criteria to include with this award was student achievement and growth, their relationships with the students, engagement, leadership, collaboration with their other staff members, innovation, and again, their commitment to school and community. This year's Teacher of the Year is Brittany Molnar. her highlights include a projected 1.94 growth index in math. Her students showed 1.36 growth index in reading. Her students had the highest attendance rate in the building at 97.14%. She handles her own student behavior issues in her classrooms and preserves those relationships with her students. The principal reports she has very high expectations and the students live up to them. She serves on the district leadership team and the building leadership team. She co-facilitated a co-taught classroom that was highlighted in our special ed audit review. She's early to arrive, late to leave, and typically the first teacher in the building. She attends every extra event at school, and her principal says she is one of the most naturally gifted teachers he's ever worked with. So thank you, Brittany Molnar. Then lastly, our principal of the year could not be here tonight. She had a prior commitment, but her criteria selection was based on instructional leadership, results-oriented, a culture and a climate type leadership with effective operations within the school, staff feedback from 360 surveys, and community and family engagement, just to name a few. And that recipient was Angie Pace from McKinley. Some things about Angie's leadership. She has a projected increase of more than 6.5 points in their school's performance index on the upcoming report card. She has an impressive amount of growth areas in lots of tested areas. ELA and math has increases in grade levels 9%, 15%, 22%, 16%, 9%. She has an increase on parent and family engagement, and again, a significant increase from the staff survey regarding leadership improvement. So as you can see just from some of those data points, we have outstanding staff at Marion City Schools. We appreciate them and especially want to honor our award recipients this year. Thank you.
Before we take the picture, I just want to say thank you at all three different positions. It's not easy. But those who are either naturally gifted or just work on it tremendously hard, you can make it look easy. So thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for setting the bar high. Thank you for setting an example for Marion City Schools employees, our students, and our community. So it's not overlooked. So thank you again very much. Okay, agenda item, Agenda item number 6, Board Student Achievement Report. Ms. Dyer, do we have anything tonight? I know we haven't officially started the school year, but we're getting close.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. Student achievement, where are my notes? Here they are. I got an email from Ohio State University at Marion. So when we talk about student achievement, once they're ours, they're always ours. So they sent me an email about a Harding grad who just received a prestigious honor, Pierre Levette. You guys know Pierre? And Pierre, I'll pass that
PJ,
around.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. And he was so excited when I came to see him. He was working with robotics, and he got that love of robotics here. Being selected to represent the Ohio State University was definitely an honor. He's going to be speaking, representing Ohio State at a national convention in Chicago in September. So we send our congratulations and our warm thoughts to a former Marion City School student who is representing us well. The only other thing I have is I really liked your video, Mr. Murphy, getting everybody excited about the school year. It's just so infectious. And it reminded me of great things that are happening. Great teams have great teammates. That's what came to my mind. And this summer, for example, one of the teammates was the transportation department with Logos Christian Ministry in the Stuff the Bus process. I am just really, Kathy and I were sitting beside each other when Sarita was another partner and awarding our teachers and our kids with school supplies. I think it was 270 of our students received school supplies, and was it 4 of our teachers maybe that received money?
8.
Was
8
it-
teachers.
8 teachers.
There's one from each building, I believe.
All right, and that was a lot of money. Kathy was, of course, calculating the money there. That's after she gave her bomb speech, so she had a little time.
Finance Committee.
But, finance lady. But also, I was looking at a lot of the faith-based, the churches like Richmond Road, Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, Tyler Street, and also Logos. Logos distributed 215 book bags. They gave 25 haircuts, and they also distributed 40 pamphlets at the health fair. So these great teams and great teammates are especially vital to us as we all do what's best for kids. So as far as student achievement is concerned, if we didn't have these partners helping our kids, making sure that our kids are successful and healthy, then I don't know what we would do. So just thanks to all the community partners on our team that distributed school supplies, and it's my understanding that if there are still students in need, if you contact Pastor Jackie at Logos, she still has extra supplies, which we're going to, at the end of this week, send over to Marion City Schools.
Yep.
So that's it for me.
Gotcha, thank you. And if and when you talk to PJ, can you find out if he's, with his schedule, able and willing to talk to our kids, our robotics kids, or there's something that we can do to have him promote, how he got to where he is now? Yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen him, but,
And he had challenges, he was a diabetic, and could you imagine if he had that school-based thing,
Yeah.
When he was going to school?
absolutely. Yeah,
So,
he and my son Carter were
I
on
will
the
ask him.
robotics team together, I believe, so. Okay, well, thank
President
you
Wyman,
very
if
much.
I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to mention, and I don't think last month we took some action on the school as a community hub. I think it was last month, maybe the month before that. But I don't think Thaddeus Carter had been selected for the position yet. So I
I
just
don't
want to
think so.
mention, as we're talking about partnerships and so forth,
Oh.
with Thaddeus being selected for that position, one of the main jobs of that coordinator's position is to solicit partners, align partners to the community. So a lot of that, I think we're just scratching the surface. So we have such great partners, as Ms. Dyer is stating, and I think we're just scratching the surface, and it's going to get better and better and better with Thaddeus in that position. So, one, I want to congratulate Thaddeus. Marion Starr, I see Abby's back there, did a nice article on him, and it was on social media. So I want to thank Thaddeus for coming, actually employee of the United Way, but working in Marion City Schools and giving back.
I love when I see his name pop up, no doubt
Yeah,
about it.
yes,
I know
great guy.
something's good happened. Yes, you got it.
Coach Carter?
So, yeah, yes. Okay, all right, thank you very much. That leads us to number 7, the treasurer's report. And we'll do 7A first, board minute approval. Do we have a motion to approve the board minutes from July 20th, 2026 Board of Education meeting?
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Wyman,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer,
Yes.
Ms. Swanger,
Yes.
Mr. Guyer.
Yes.
Agenda item 7B, financial approvals. We would need a motion to approve the following financial items: July cash position report, July checks of over $1,000, July spending plan, the 2026-2027 investments information, as well as fiscal year 2027 budgetary bank reconciliation. Mr. Corbill, if you have anything you want to mention before we take action, go ahead.
Yep. We will get, got a few reports. Some of these, I guess moving forward, the financial reports may or may not look a little bit different for you guys. Moving forward, just made some adjustments, and I think in the efficiency, I think it'll be easier for the audience, of course, to understand essentially where we're at financially. So, met with the finance committee last week, and there was a consensus that, we'll present these, and then moving forward, if anyone would like to see something different or see something brought back, speak your piece. So I created this investment report. It's kind of dual purpose. It essentially shows the reconciliation of all of the accounts, so all of the different accounts that we have. So I discovered in my first 11 business days working here that we've got quite a few bank accounts. I'm still trying to decipher all the intricacies of how we utilize our bank accounts. One of my strategies, I guess without going too far into detail, I need savings account. I need to be able to, for our money to gain interest, and then I need to make sure that the cash that we have is secure. So it's either FDIC insured or covered with the Ohio Pool Collateral System, OPCS. So that just means that we're insuring our money in case something were to happen. Right now, we do have some exposure to liability, essentially. If something were to happen, all of our cash isn't secure. So that's one thing that I'm kind of working on. I thought I'd give you guys just a little bit of information on that. So basically, the way you read this investment report, for the end of July, our total cash balance was just over $26 million. Now, you'll see in the forecast that I present, we run roughly a $74 million budget. This $26 million is not just the general fund. It is for every fund that we manage. So we manage, obviously, the general fund, which consumes probably 80% of our total operations, but it's our permanent improvements, it's our district and student-led activity accounts, so athletics and our endowment and scholarship funds, it's our federal and state programs. So the funds that you're seeing here, that's essentially what that is. So it just gives you a good bird's eye view as to where we're at. It shows our strategy in terms of investments. So we have 35 holdings in CDs, 11 holdings in U.S. Treasury notes, and then 3 holdings in government bonds. What I like about CDs and government bonds is that they're not open to being called. So let's say let's say the federal government were to decrease interest. The U.S. Treasury decrease the interest, the federal interest rate. And we have investments at 4%. Let's say they don't want to pay those. They can call those. So our U.S. Treasury notes are unfortunately susceptible to being called early versus waiting for maturity, but right now the interest rates are pretty good right now. We actually saw a slight uptick just a little bit recently. So I think we're holding pretty well. I mean, we've got I think the way it's set up currently is it'll kind of help us continue to steady the ship. And then I've just got just a general interest earnings. I will keep you all posted on, interest accruals for the month of July, just under $93,000. Fiscal year to date, I'll keep track of that. That way you guys can kind of know how we're doing all year. I did run a report, just so everybody is aware. I ran a report for the coding that we utilize for interest, and I noticed the last couple of years there's some general inconsistencies, and so that's something that I'm looking into, just trying to determine could have been just coded something different, or just something that I'm looking into, because I'd like to get a comparison on how we've performed historically versus how we're doing this year. So any questions about the investment report? Okay. Go for it.
So go back.
I can read.
Yeah. So do you see, because you said we have quite a few checking accounts, is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, so we've got Fahey, we've got three Fahey accounts.
And tell me what those mean, like you have lunch,
So that's just how they're defined. So I guess the operations of the lunch account, from what I understand, is when we pay a bill, it acts as a checking account essentially. So we kind of do the same for Chase. We have 4 Chase accounts. One's a payroll account. So whenever we run payroll, we transfer everything to that account. Same with the Chase Amazon. If we're paying an Amazon bill, it's got its own account that, let's say the bill's $35,000 1 month or 1 week. When we go to pay that, we transfer the money from our general checking account to that account. So it's just a lot of intricacies in terms of how we're. I think we have room for consolidation, I think, but ultimately that's where I would like to get, because it is confusing. We have an account with Huntington Bank, I just discovered, while reconciling $8.04, and Huntington has no idea what I'm talking about. So it's very possible that that's sitting in unclaimed funds somewhere.
Yeah,
But it's $8.04 at the same time, so.
we need it though.
We need to claim it so it doesn't go to the Cleveland Browns Stadium.
Okay,
Just saying.
so,
So in finance, then, you guys will, let us know when these things do become consolidated, and you'll be working with the finance to let
Yeah.
us know. Because I'm pretty sure you're going to bring your own flavor
Sure.
to this, and
I'd like
your
to
own
simplify
system.
things
Yeah.
when we can, or maximize interest accruals. So if we've got money sitting in 6 different accounts, when it could be sitting in a savings account somewhere, I've got concerns about that. So, I'm talking with Chase tomorrow. I've got a meeting with them to discuss a sweep account. So basically what that means is, even if it's sitting in the checking or the Amazon or the payroll, we could at least collect 2.9% interest versus nothing. Right now we don't. I mean, we had, at one point last month, we had $5 million sitting in that account, $5.2 million. We didn't get to collect any interest on that money, unfortunately. So just something that I'm looking at, and I will most definitely be transparent as I move forward. The next report that I'd like to discuss, the spending plan, this is probably new to a lot of you, and it's a lot of jargon, but it's essentially, this is a bird's eye view tool of where we're at financially for the fiscal year. So with this being new, I'll just walk you through really quick. I've got the cash flow total, the column on the very right side. That matches with what's on the 5-year forecast. So this yellow item and this yellow column, it'll jump every month as we run actuals and as we close each month. But basically what I do is I try taking our actuals and then I forecast the projections based on what's on the forecast. And it allows us to track in real time how we're performing. It becomes very easy when we're 3-4 months in to see if we're over or under projected in salaries and benefits. So this is just a tool I'd like for you guys to utilize. I'll just give you a couple examples. If you look in December, the retirement and benefits, we run a holiday. So instead of through Stark County Consortium, the Council of Governments that we have our health and medical insurance through, we don't pay for those benefits during the month of December. It's a holiday is what they consider that. So there is still some expense that's tied to that, but it's not medical and dental insurance. So you see in that month that expense decreases. So again, it's just a bird's eye view of how we're performing this fiscal year versus, I like comparative data, and we'll definitely get into that when we're discussing forecasting. But I think ultimately we just need to know where we're at this year. So at the very bottom, for those of you who aren't familiar with True Days cash balance, this is essentially a formula that the state utilizes to determine how a school district's performing financially. Ultimately, what it means is if a school district were to completely stop receiving revenue for whatever reason, I mean, honestly, if that ever happened, I think we've got bigger problems. Maybe a meteor hits the earth or something like that. But if revenue were to cease, how many days could the district operate without any additional revenue? So at the end of July, we could operate roughly 115 days. So in the eyes of the state, they would consider that to be pretty healthy. But you'll see moving forward as we discuss the financial forecast. I do have True Days cash linked to each year. It's not going to be as healthy as it is currently. So we just need to continue monitoring, continue just being cognizant and intentional in the way we invest and spend our funds. So just
Do
whatever we can
you
to
have
protect.
a magic number that we will not hold you accountable to in terms of True Days cash balance that you would like for us to avoid?
Now, I believe the auditor of state required school district to adopt a policy, and I don't know if that district, if
We
we
did.
adopted the policy. If-
We did, I want to say it's close to 90.
90.
I believe
90
it's
is
90.
like the
90.
golden, like if you could stay around 90 or operate around that, not saying that you can't have a surplus beyond that, but it allows you a healthy amount of room to make decisions without it being the end of the world. So, so 90 is good. Some school districts, I think the lowest I've seen is 45 days, but that to me is, it doesn't give you enough time to make those action plans. So, and I know that over the last couple of years, we've really tried keeping our eye on the dollar, and we've obviously made some shifts in staff this past year, and we'll just continue monitoring. But that's what this tool is. It's a monitoring tool. So,
Thank you.
any questions about the spending plan? So those are my financials that I was going to go over with you guys today, unless you have questions about anything else.
Anybody else? Okay, we still need a motion, so I'll make the motion to approve those financial items, two of which we just discussed
Second.
specifically. Any further discussion?
No, thanks for taking the time to put those two reports together for us.
Yeah.
I think those are going to be helpful.
Of course, if you feel like there's anything else that would be beneficial, let me know. I mean, we'll we'll talk about anything in Finance Committee, so.
When does finance meet again?
So,
So Finance Committee meets the second Thursday of the month, except in September, the second Thursday of the month is the popcorn parade.
All right.
So it'll actually be the third
Okay.
Thursday, but it'll still be before the
Before the
board
board
meeting,
meeting,
so it's
okay.
okay.
so that'll give us, I think it used to be the first Thursday. The second gives us just a little bit more time to make sure the books are reconciled, and I have reports to discuss with the board members, so. Okay, any other questions about the finance reports?
Nope. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Weibling,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer,
Yes.
Ms. Swanger,
Yes,
Mr. Guyer.
Yes.
Thank you.
That takes us to agenda item 7C, donations. The treasurer recommends approval of the following donations. $1,250 donated to the athletic department from OHSAA's Athletic Enrichment Fund. $100 donated to the athletic department from Mark Field. School supplies donated to Taft Elementary from Mitch Richards, ICWHY Ltd. School supplies donated to Taft Elementary from Fair Park Baptist Church. $500 donated to the Harding High School Archive Room from the Marion Community Foundation, specifically the Bebout Family Fund. And $200 donated to the Marion City Schools Special Education Department from Joanne Walker in memory of Judy Height, who we had mentioned at the beginning of the meeting tonight. So, do we have a motion?
so moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Thank you very much for all the people who have donated money. We appreciate it. Money or supplies.
Yeah.
Yes, as always. Okay, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Dyer,
Yes.
Ms. Swanger,
Yes,
Mr. Guyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weibling.
Yes. Agenda item 7D, transfers. The treasurer recommends approval of the following transfer: $422,500.91 from the general fund to the 003-000 Permanent Improvement Fund. Mr. Corporal, did you want to make any comments before we move forward? on that?
So I'll just show you really quick. If you look at the cash position report, so there are Ohio Revised Code laws when it comes to operating funds in the negative. There are certain funds that are allowable, for example, a flow-through account, the 022, or federal and state programs. Those are really the only funds that are allowed to go negative. So as I was reconciling the month of July, I just noticed that our permanent improvement, including the encumbrances, brings us to a negative. So that would zero out the permanent improvement fund. So that was the reasoning for the transfer. And just so you all know, the forecast that was approved in July, and I think the total dollar amount of transfers out of the general fund equated about $1.2 million. So we're at least within the scope of what the board has already authorized to transfer out of the general fund. We're not going in excess of what's technically already authorized within what you've approved. So,
Okay. Thank you. I'll make a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Can you call the roll, please?
Ms. Swanger,
yes,
Mr. Guyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weibling,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Agenda item 7E, Ohio Deferred Compensation, Roth 457 adoption. The treasurer recommends approval of the Ohio Deferred Compensation, Roth 457 adoption. Mr. Corbel.
So anytime, I kind of take a stance, that anytime you can offer options to better your staff, especially at no cost to the district, we should try doing what we can. As I was looking at employment here, I personally prefer a Roth 457 option versus the traditional 457. So this is something that I was looking into personally. After consulting with Ohio Deferred Compensation, I learned that the board has to approve essentially an adoption to allow staffing to participate in this program. So as of right now, our payroll isn't set up for this, but I at least wanted to start the conversation, the discussion with the board in terms of offering this opportunity essentially to our staff. So, yeah, any other questions?
We'll find out. I'll make a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion, questions, comments?
So would this be like, don't we offer a 504 or whatever? So this would be in that realm that we're offering our employees an opportunity to invest their money?
Exactly. So, and again, traditional, normally that's pre-tax. Some people want to pay the taxes up front so that when they withdraw, including, the interest accruals on your investment accounts, you're essentially already taken care of. So that's all the 457 does, is it allows me to post-tax my investment contributions, so.
No, I think anything that benefits our staff is worthwhile. If it costs the district nothing and it benefits our staff, then that's kind of a win-win, no-brainer.
Yeah. And they're not required to participate. This is 100% voluntary, so.
Okay, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Guyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weibling,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer,
Yes.
Ms. Swanger.
Yes.
Thank you.
Agenda item 7F, then and nows. The treasurer recommends approval for the following then and nows. Mr. Corbel, I'll let you address those two.
Yeah, so both of these are for SERS. One is the SERS surcharge. The other one is for the employer statement. This generally happens around this time every year. The reason why we had to do the then and now is because those invoices generally aren't available until after the start of the new fiscal year. And we don't generally know what those amounts will be. I discussed our 022 account. That's our flow-through account. That account, for the most part, had enough to cover what we're being charged through SERS. And that's what we use the flow-through account for. We use it for SERS and STIRS payments and revenues through the foundation. I won't get into the complicated process with that, but we basically have the funds available in that flow-through account to pay both of these bills. And if anyone wants to know what surcharge is, feel free to ask, but it's almost like talking about providing private schools transportation is kind of, those are the feelings I have about the surcharge. So anyway.
Don't get them fired up.
I was going to say, he
Yes,
does
there
these
we go.
things just to
I'd like to
increase
stay professional
my blood
today,
pressure.
if that's all right.
Thank you. Okay, I'll make a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
So what was this? Is this the first time this terminology was used, the then and now, or have we?
We've had it before.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
It's not,
It's usually around this time of year.
yeah, it's,
Okay.
Basically, what the then and now is if we put on a PO after we've already guaranteed we were going to do business with somebody. So if it doesn't flow through the general process of purchasing, so if there's a service we want, but we do a handshake deal and then they send us the invoice before we even get a PO on,
Yeah.
that process bypasses certifying that we have the cash for the expense. So that's all the then and now is.
I don't know if I've seen it before, but I've seen it, when I attend the county commissioners meetings and
Okay.
stuff, specific information for this, but I don't know if I've ever seen it on the agenda.
I think in the
might
spring we may have,
sleep
it's
through- I
not
might
very
sleep through that
common,
part of
but
finances.
it
I'm
pops
like,
up. But
I'll try my best to not get these on here.
You keep it on.
Everyone
We
does a
need to
good
learn.
job, so.
We need to-
These-
I
And
need
these
to-
were
I need
me,
to
like
learn.
if it were, Julie or Gary Lee or Brian, it's a different story, but these ones are me, so.
Okay. All right, any further questions or comments? All right, can you call the roll, please?
All right. Mr. Weibling,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer,
Yeah.
Ms. Swanger,
Yes.
Mr. Guyer.
Yes.
Thank you. All
And
right.
Item 7G, financial forecast. The treasurer recommends approval of the August 2026 financial forecast. Mr. Corbin.
All right, so this is the reason for the big crowd today. So appreciate y'all coming out. So twice a year, school districts have to provide essentially a forecast on the district's finances. That's per revised code and Ohio law. Just some recent changes. House Bill 96 just recently made some slight modifications on the way schools forecast. Submissions are now in August and in February. So it becomes unfortunate, if it's your treasurer's first month at a school district, the very first month they're presenting the forecast. So it's different. It used to be November and May. So it's just kind of changed some of that. And then, of course, the forecast now, it's 4 years of projections instead of what used to be 5. So here we go. We're going to jump into this thing. Essentially what a forecast is, it's an opportunity for the treasurer to give the board and the community a bird's eye view of the district's financials. And then it allows us to begin thinking of ways to combat deficit spending and financial challenges. There are a lot of factors that go into this, and if anyone keeps up with school finance at the State House, or some of the conversations that they're having around property tax reform and all that, it's been extremely difficult times in terms of accurately portraying a school's financial picture. So just some challenges thought I'd share with everybody. I'd like to really start by thanking the community. Again, this is my first month here, but from what I've understood, the community has had great success in supporting the school district. Most recently, and I'm sure even this probably isn't the most recent, but in particular to the funding of school on November 2nd, 2021, the community supported the renewal of the emergency levy. This is a 5-year levy, and it brings in roughly $2.5 million annually. And just as a heads up to the community, this is something that will be coming up again for renewal next year. So calendar year 2027, we really hope that we can continue that legacy here and get that support. The forecast generally, the forecast is essentially a bird's eye view of where we're at with the general fund, but I wanted to include for everybody all the different funds that we do operate. The general fund accounts for roughly 84% of our total operations. Facilities and permanent improvement, about 2.5%. Federal and state programs accounts for about 6%. Food service, about 3.5%. And then the other miscellaneous funds, district and student activities, scholarship, endowment funds, accounts for roughly 4.5% of our operations. So even though the general fund is the bulk of what we do, there's a lot more internal that goes on in terms of managing all of the different funds. This is a bird's eye view of, I've been saying that word a lot, so I apologize. Slap my hand every time I say that. The 5-year forecast, if anyone's seen it in detail, it's a very complicated document. What I have here is essentially a Cliff Notes version of what the 5-year forecast looks like. 7.01, that's our beginning cash balance, and then I've got our total revenues, total expenditures, surplus or deficit, and then the ending cash balance for each fiscal year. So I will preface by saying that this Cliff Notes version of the forecast is pre-renewal. So on a complicated 5-year forecast, if you look at it, it will have the renewal results or the levy results at the very bottom. So in a way, they're accounting for what happens if you don't renew and then what happens if you do renew. So I wanted to share that with you. This is pre-renewal. So even with a bunch of the changes that we've implemented within staffing, pre-renewal, we're still looking at a negative cash balance by fiscal year 2029. So it is critical that, we do what we can to continue being intentional with the way that we're spending funds. Just a heads up about a few things. I know that we sit down with our teachers probably around February or March. So we've got negotiations coming up, and that's most definitely something that's on the radar of the board, myself and Brian as well. And then of course, the renewal of the emergency levy. This will be post-renewal, should it pass. Trying to be intentional with my wordage. So I apologize if I'm striking out there, but it does look a little bit better. Instead of our negative cash balance being, 2 years out, fiscal year 29, we're now at a negative cash balance fiscal year 30. So it buys us a little bit of time. I wish it would solve all of our problems, even if the renewal passes, but we'll still need to make some modifications. Wanted to jump into the revenues and our variance. One thing that I found extremely interesting when analyzing our revenues was that we're not seeing growth here in revenue. And there's a couple slides that will kind of point out why we're not seeing a whole lot of growth. So if any of you were to manage your personal budgets, without any sort of increase, expenditures continue to rise, inflationary adjustments and all that. So when you see little growth on the revenue side, it creates a unfortunate situation and problem. Here's the different slices of where our revenue comes from. State share accounts for roughly 75%. Local share is about 25%. And then the emergency levy in terms of percentage is it equates to almost 5% of our annual revenue. This is one thing that I really wanted to point out. And if you have not seen this kind of accounts for why we see very little growth. So this is the base cost funding breakdown. Essentially what we receive from the state, essentially what we receive in terms of our local capacity. So if you look, our local capacity at fiscal year 24, our community members per student generated about $1,700. We received about $6,500 from the state. The average cost, the state's average cost per pupil is about $17,000. So although we're getting $8,200 base per student, there's still a very large discrepancy within those numbers. I did include Marion City Schools' average cost. So we are slightly above the state's average as well. So that just might be something to look into at some point in the future. The one thing that I wanted to point out about this base cost funding breakdown is if you compare the numbers fiscal year 24 to fiscal year 27, the local share grew by $502.78. At the same time, during that same time frame, the state share from fiscal year 24 to fiscal year 27 decreased by $502.90. So there's a lot of ways we can interpret this data. But essentially what it means is the amount of growth that the community has seen, the state has essentially eaten that growth up so that they don't have to contribute or invest anymore to public schools. So I think this provides Marion City Schools is not the only district that this falls under. This is really statewide, and this is the problem, I think, that, there's a lot of people on social media that comment about state funding and bloated budgets. And that's really not the truth, especially in the state of Ohio, a state where, for whatever reason, our leaders, we're ranked 45th in the nation in public school support. Our state leaders will not invest in public schools. At the same time, we want to throw money in, in other areas and claim that it's because of poor and failing school districts. Without getting too much into the weeds with that, I think this base cost funding breakdown, if there's one thing that you could get from this is, as the local capacity continues to rise, the state decreases its share essentially by the same amount of money.
We might be getting in the weeds and on our soapboxes here for a second. So would another, before our legislative liaison speaks, would another fair interpretation be that we are quite literally being asked to do more with less?
Absolutely.
It's a fair assessment?
Yeah.
Okay. And we, as a district over the last couple of years, we've already started to do that. So we could just be sitting here complaining about it.
Yeah.
And just hoping that a solution falls out of the sky. But that's not what we're doing.
Right.
So we've known that this was going to be a problem. We have planned for it. We are taking action right now. It's not the prettiest picture we've ever seen, but it's not like we are just, trying to sweep this under the rug by
Right.
any means. Okay. Ms. Swanger.
I also just want to point out that when the state is making their budgets, the state actually updated information, but they updated it to 2021. So we're now, like, they're funding everything as if it were 2021. And so I think that's 5 years ago. And if you look at gas prices, if you look at grocery prices, if you look at utility prices, if you look at housing, I mean, all of those things have jumped exponentially, and yet the state is still funding everything as if it were 2021. But they were happy with themselves that they actually jumped to 2021. So I say, hey, it's 2026. Let's start funding things because, again, you look at our bills, you just look at our utility bills. Like, everybody's have gone up. They've gone up for the schools also. And so we are absolutely doing more with less. And part of that is a direct result of what the state of Ohio is not doing to help public schools.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly the reason why when you look across the state and those school districts right now that are financially in trouble, are making significant cuts, are the heavily state-funded districts.
Yeah.
So we're 77, is about 77%
Yeah.
state-funded. And so when you look at the state share that's coming from the state being flatlined with all the expenses and inflation the where it is, and our local capacity, being probably 20% or just under 20%, once you add in federal, that is the issue. I am proud to say that we did, and I think it's important to remind the community, I know we get a lot of people watching online, that, in 2 years we've cut 85 positions. We've also saved $3.1 million in other programming, modifications as well. So we are ahead of the curve, but the battle is not over. The battle is not over.
I think the final thing I would say about this page is, the local capacity piece. If there's one thing that I could at least issue to the community, this community is also getting a great bang for their buck. Most school districts are, state supports around 32%. I think that's what's average around the state. Some districts are getting less than $2,500 a student from the state, and their local, communities are footing essentially the rest of the bill. So while we are making shifts and adjustments, and we're being very cognizant and mindful of those adjustments and shifts, I do want to just reiterate that the city of Marion is getting a good bang for their buck at a discount essentially, because the state is, even though they're decreasing their obligation, the state is still paying a massive chunk of the bill. So thank you. We'll jump into the expenditures really quick right here. This is what I'm kind of used to seeing, including on the revenue side, just, some percentage variances. Essentially right here, the comparative from fiscal year 26 to fiscal year 27, it's about $2.9 million worth of savings or cuts. Salaries, benefits, about $1 million cut in purchase services. So we're definitely, we've made some adjustments on our end, and we're going to recognize some of those savings this year. Here's a breakdown, just a pie chart of the general fund expenditures. Salaries and benefits does account for about 82%, projecting for fiscal year '27. Purchase services would be another large, that's really our, it's really salaries and benefits and then purchase services. So I just wanted to give you all a brief overview of what we utilize purchase services for. So that accounts for communications, utilities, construction, maintenance, conferences and professional development, legal fees, employment, drug testing, technology, software and services, college credit plus, transportation services, special education, and so forth. So there's a plethora of things that are our purchase services operates. Here's just a quick snip of our cash balance every month for the last 3 years of actuals, and then this year of projected. This year projected is in the red. Not for any particular reason. I guess I probably should have been conscious of that. I apologize. I guess I could have gone maize and blue.
I was
but
going to
Finance
say, at
Committee
least it wasn't maize and blue.
told me to not do that. So I did do that at one board meeting, and I was almost kicked out. So anyway, so again, just anytime we can have images, I think to help, explain our picture, I think the better people think through things a little bit differently. Here's another snapshot of our ending cash balance each fiscal year since fiscal year 11. So now in my 11 days here, I haven't really been able to explore the history. What happened in fiscal year 16? What led to that decrease? What led to the district to kind of shifting? And then obviously we can see some growth around COVID time. We were able to utilize ESSER funds to offset the general fund. So then we'd see some growth there. But here, obviously this is where we're at, fiscal year 27. So you do see a slight decrease from the adjustments and changes that we've made. It's not as drastic of a decline as we saw from fiscal year 25 to 26, but yeah, it's critical for us to continue making those adjustments to make sure we steady the ship moving forward. Just some challenges coming up. Obviously, state funding is at the forefront of our conversations. House Bill 186 didn't help us cap property tax revenue. And on top of that, we're also not on the 20 mil floor. So those two things are kind of playing not in our favor. Facility and curriculum improvements, I think we're doing a great job there, but those are just some of the conversations that we continue to have. Substantial growth in special education costs. Obviously, these are our very critical, vulnerable students, and we care for them a great deal and want to provide the supports, but there's a cost associated to that as well. And then, of course, the inflationary growth that we've seen in health insurance and supplies and services. That's really, I get it, but again, just some of the challenges that we face as a school district. I know in your personal budgets you probably see and experience those. We experience those in a great deal in a $74 million organization. I think the final thing that what I'd like to conclude with is, I've personally sat down with Representative Richardson and Senator Reineke. I've been in some of those meetings with Brian here, and anytime we can have those conversations to sit with our representatives or sit with even federal representatives, government representatives, the better. It doesn't necessarily mean that the conversations you have in those sit-downs are going to, there will be immediate change. There will not. But the more we can voice our concerns, especially as, we're school districts in the state. There's 608 of us. We represent, I think I read a statistic a few months ago. We account for, roughly 80% of school-aged children. You know, why are we not prioritizing public schools? Why are public schools not in the forefront of the conversations that we have at the state? So any chance you have to either have those conversations or to contact them or to send them letters, let's make them annoyed almost. Like, that's kind of where we're at, unfortunately. We need to be heard.
Right. And I don't even know that it's necessarily that we want to annoy them, but what we really want to do is build a relationship with them so that when we come and talk to them, they don't go, who is that? You know, if we talk to them enough and we build that relationship with them, then they'll understand who we are as things progress.
Right.
And then, you know, then hopefully they take us just a little bit more seriously. Because
Agreed.
the bottom line is, there is money to pay for education. I mean, the state of Ohio used to pay vouchers for just a few people. Now they voucher everybody who goes to a private school. That doesn't need to happen. If you know, it's just a matter of converting some money into different places. They have the money to pay for the education that we need. They just need to reprioritize.
Great. That's all I've got for you today. Any questions?
That's it? You're done?
Um,
You could keep going, I'm sure.
Sean was supposed to keep a timer on me, so,
Must be doing okay. All right, well, thank you for the presentation and the information. We've talked about it a couple times over the last few years is the first step of solving a problem is admitting that you have one. And I don't think this is a self-inflicted wound, but we are responsible as a board and as the administration to find a solution. So thank you for getting us up to speed with the work you've done in the brief time you've been here.
We
So,
need to approve this.
okay, yeah.
Need to vote.
Okay, we still need a motion. I will
I'll-
make the,
I'll make the motion.
you'll make
All
the
right.
motion. Would you like to do the second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Weibling,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer, Ms. Swanger,
Yes,
Mr. Geyer,
Yes.
thank you all.
Thank you.
thank you.
And
Thank you
welcome.
for all that work in
Welcome.
11 days.
Appreciate that.
Welcome aboard. We call this a little baptism by fire, okay?
Thought that was dodgeball. Okay. All right.
We're still sore from that.
I wasn't going to be the one to bring it up.
Some of us, and some of us were smart enough not to play.
Yes. Okay. All right, let me get back to where we were.
Hearing
All right.
public.
Yep, agenda item 8, hearing of the public. Do we have anybody? I didn't get any forms. Anybody want to speak now? Okay, that'll take us to agenda item 9, new business line items. 9A, resolution with Meta. The superintendent recommends the approval of a resolution between Marion City Schools and Meta for the purchasing cooperative of a school bus and/or van. Mr. Murphy.
Yeah, this is standard resolution we do every year. We always work with Meta for that purpose.
I'll make a motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Dyer. Ms. Swanger,
Yes,
Mr. Geyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weibling.
Yes. Agenda item 9B, Marion Public Library Board of Trustees appointment. The superintendent recommends the appointment of Kaylee Petrie to the Marion Public Library Board of Trustees due to the resignation of Dana Martin. Mr. Murphy.
Yep, as you know, Marion City Schools provides oversight to the seat for the Marion Public Library. You'll see attached here Kaylee Petrie, her resume is also attached. The recommendation first came from Gary Branson, and then now I am recommending to the board for this appointment.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll
second.
Discussion?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. You spent some time at Harrison, correct? Or you're on the PTO, is that correct? Yeah. Gotcha. I saw that in the resume, so thank you very much. Okay. You call the roll, please?
Ms. Swanger,
yes,
Mr. Geyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weibling,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer.
Agenda item 9C, OPSI MOU, Transportation Services. The superintendent recommends the approval of an MOU between Marion City Schools and OPSI for the terms and conditions of how Marion City Schools will contract transportation services, specifically for a student that attends the Columbus School for the Blind. Mr. Murphy.
Yeah, this allows the administration to enter an agreement, sets the terms of that with an outside vendor to transport to one student to that school in Columbus.
Okay, I'll make a
We
motion.
had a
Whoops,
similar
excuse me.
agreement last year as well.
Okay. I'll make a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Guyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weidler,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer,
Yes.
Ms. Swanger.
Yes.
Agenda item 9D, OPSI MOU for hours worked. The superintendent recommends the approval of an MOU between Marion City Schools and OPSI for the terms and conditions under which OPSI will allow bus drivers' contracted hours to be less than 4 hours a day. Mr. Murphy.
You'll see the agreement under the mutual adequate and acknowledged consideration that this is for a specific driver in transportation, and it allows this driver to work less than 4 hours. Again, this is a similar agreement that we had last year, and again, it's a one-year term.
Thank you. I'll make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Weidler,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer,
Yes.
Ms. Swanger,
Yes.
Mr. Guyer.
Yes.
Agenda item 9E, MOU with Ohio Guidestone. The superintendent recommends the approval of an MOU between Marion City Schools and Ohio Guidestone for school-based behavioral health, consultation, and prevention programs. Mr. Murphy.
Yeah, this is one of our three partners regarding behavioral mental health supports in the district. Same agreement as last year with Ohio Guidestone, so recommending board approval.
I'll make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Dyer,
Yes.
Ms. Swanger,
Yes.
Mr. Guyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weidler.
Yes. Takes us to agenda item 10, new business, agreements and contracts. Item 10A, ease therapy. The superintendent recommends the approval of the contract between Ease Therapy and Marion City Schools for speech services at St. Mary's as required by law. Mr. Murphy.
Yep, this is a one-year term. It's paid through Title VI federal funds allocated from the state. It's contract to support the children at St. Mary's who live within the Marion City Schools boundaries and attend St. Mary's.
Nothing new, correct?
Nothing new.
Yep. I'll make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Swanger,
Yes.
Mr. Guyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weidler,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer.
Yes.
Item 10B, Maxim. The superintendent recommends the approval of the contract between Maxim Healthcare and Marion City Schools for nursing services for a student with special health needs. Mr. Murphy.
Yep, this is a renewal of an existing contract that we had in place last year for a one-on-one nursing needs for a student that we have in the district. Same price as well as last year, so recommending the board take action.
Thank you. I'll make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Guyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weidler,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer,
Yes.
Ms. Swanger,
Yes.
Item 10C, High Road School. The superintendent recommends the approval of the agreement between High Road School of Marion County and Marion City Schools for the 2026-2027 school year. This agreement is currently for 11 students at an estimated cost of $780,825. The number of students at the school is subject to change during the year based on special needs. Mr. Murphy.
Yeah, this is a contract we've had every year with High Road. We do have 11 students that attend there. That number is up from last year. We always work towards the least restrictive environment. So I am recommending the board to take action on this for those 11 students.
Okay. Again, I'll make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
I'm just going to throw in, this is one of those areas where it costs us more than what the state provides us to educate. And so by law, we have to do it. But this is just one example of, we'll receive a little over $90,000, but yet we'll pay out 780. So
I,
in terms of budgets, it's absolutely needed, it's necessary, but it's one of those things where the state could help us out a little bit more.
and really, it's federal too. I mean, it's really a lot federal more so than anything. And as you know, I had opportunity to meet through the Chamber of Commerce with Congressman Jim Jordan. This was one of the topics that we talked about. And I explained to him that one of the, maybe the number one complaint that I hear from superintendents, meetings that I attend, is the rising costs of providing services for students that they need it. And there's not a lot of options out there. And of course, because of supply and demand, it drives prices up. And because of that, you know, there's a lot of students that cost upward north of $100,000 per student. The federal government has not provided additional dollars to school districts for those rising costs. So I did have the opportunity. That was one of my several things I wanted to talk to Mr. Jordan about. I was able to get to 2 items on my list with the allocated time that I had, and that was actually one of them. So it is frustrating, but this is a service that our kids need. And so we have a responsibility to provide them the best education as possible.
I will add, there's a period of time for school districts to claim essentially reimbursements for these very needy and expensive students through excess and threshold cost process and procedures. So the state does have a pot of money essentially where they'll provide school districts an opportunity to claim reimbursement for those students. It wasn't as popular, I'd say probably 10 years ago, where the reimbursement amount would be about 50%. With the inflationary costs with special education, now we're seeing almost every school district participate within, with their hands out, trying to at least make up for some of the cost. So I believe when I did the excess cost last year, it was about 27% reimbursed of what we actually spent. So we do get some of the funds back through some of the programs that the state offers, but it doesn't make up for the whole cost.
Right, and again, we absolutely need to do this. The students need it. I'm 100% for what the students need. I just want people to understand where we are financially with some of why we are in the situation we are.
And to add, and I think it's important for the public to know as well, that we have created programs internally with different partners and have saved over well into the millions.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So we are doing everything we can to keep those costs down, but it's certainly very challenging, to your point.
Just in my line of work, we're trying to hire people who are able and willing to do the job. You look at that as an institution as well. Are people, or as an institution, are they able and willing? And we're definitely willing. I don't think any of us would be in this room tonight if we weren't. But the ability part is being made more and more difficult every single day. So it's not easy, but again, to reiterate what Vice President Swanger said, it's necessary and we are willing to do it. No doubt about it. So, okay.
So my question is, you said that the number is up from, so we have 11 students, because I thought our goal was to not use High Road. Is there a reason why? Did their IEPs warrant something different? Did we transfer them out of another program into this? Why are our numbers
Yeah,
up?
so originally we created some internal programming, and a lot of the students at High Road began to attend another program that we offered through Growing Minds.
Mm-hmm.
And the number dropped because the majority of those students qualified for the services that Growing Minds provides. What we are seeing is that a lot of the kids, whether it's recently being diagnosed, whether it's move-ins, they have certain disabilities that are above and beyond the scope that Growing Minds can service. And it's a very specific disability for that. High Road at this point does provide those services. Now, they have not always, my understanding is they have not always provided those services for certain students, but they have shifted their model in that way.
So how many do we have at High Road then?
11.
We have 11, so we'll have, for Growing Mind, I mean, how many do we have there? I'm sorry.
I think it's 22.
I think it's between 18 and 20, right, or 21 right now. We've got, sorry. We have some students that parents are doing some considering of services, but we are about between 18 and 21 there. And this increase for High Road, we did have some students move into the district that are new. And then we also did have 2 students that Growing Minds was not able to serve just as their needs have increased due to their disabilities, so they've moved over. But other than that, we're
Okay.
pretty close.
Any further discussion? Okay, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Wiley?
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer?
Yes.
Ms. Swanton?
Yes.
Mr. Guyer?
Yes.
Agenda item 10D, game time. The superintendent recommends the approval of an agreement between Marion City Schools and Game Time for the purchase of playground equipment at Taft Elementary School. Mr. Murphy.
Yeah, just as you stated, we are replacing some playground equipment at Taft from Omnia Partners Purchasing Cooperative. You'll see price listed in the contract there, so recommending approval from the board.
I'll make the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
We discussed this during our Buildings and Grounds meeting last week. Jake and his team are planning to install late fall around maybe the Thanksgiving break, right? And I know Taft staff, principals, I think they're all excited to get their new equipment.
And this is part of a regular rotation, correct?
It
In
is.
terms of addressing it at various elementary schools. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Have fun, kids.
Let them
Okay.
play.
Yes, let them play. Can you call the roll, please?
Have you guys seen it? Have you guys seen the renderings?
Mm-mm. No, absolutely.
Really nice.
Okay.
Well, can you email it to them, or you want me to? Okay. It's nice.
Thank you.
Mrs. Dyer?
Yes.
Ms. Swanton?
Yes.
Mr. Guyer?
Yes.
Mr. Wiley?
Yes. Agenda item 11A, new business and resolutions, impractical to transport. The superintendent recommends that it is impractical to transport the following students due to time and distance required to transport. We have just over 24 names on that. Mr. Murphy.
Yeah, you see the names listed there. You also see requesting that the board pass a resolution in regarding to the impractical to transport. The students listed here, we have some that attend, it's Berean Christian Academy, if that's how you say that, Rima Academy, Gilead Christian School, and then the Tomorrow Center. And it's 17 students at the Tomorrow Center, I think, or we talked about it was 12 previously,
Okay.
but 17 total. So recommending that the board consider the resolution in accordance with state law and pass this.
I'd like to add, so the state determines the range of the reimbursements to the families. It's about $623, I believe, is the minimum amount that we can reimburse these families. And when it comes to operations, this a lot of times is the better option versus having to figure out how to transport not just your students that attend the district, but those that don't attend the district. So this is actually a preferred option. So.
And I will say, we as a school district, and Jake will say this, we have done everything we can historically to accommodate providing transportation for these students. We also know that the challenge continues to find bus drivers, and because of the number of buses and the need that we have to have on the road to transport our students that attend Marion City Schools in combination with shortage of drivers, this now becomes a requirement, not necessarily an option.
Okay, so not just a motion to follow the recommendation that it is impractical to transport, but also the passage of the resolution as well.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Swanger,
Yes.
Mr. Guyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weidman,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer.
Yes.
Agenda item 12, executive session. Do we have any need to go into executive session prior to the consent agenda? Seeing that there are none, we'll skip 13, no amendments. Takes us to agenda item 14, consent agenda approval. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted by the board in one motion in the form listed below. The board will follow Board Policy 0165.1, Section E, in regards to the consent agenda. The superintendent recommends approval of all consent agenda items. Employment is specifically conditioned on and subject to successful background checks, receipt and final administrative review of all application records, and receipt of all other necessary documentation. And this will be for items B through J. Gotcha. I'll make a motion. Do we have a second?
I will second. Oh, wait.
Is that
I'm
K?
sorry, K. I'm sorry, I
Through
missed one.
K.
It's B through K.
B through K. Motion to approve B through K. Do we have a second?
I
Second.
second. Okay. Or Evan can have it.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Guyer,
Yes.
Mr. Weidman,
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer,
Yes.
Ms. Swanger.
Yes.
Item 15, we had no items removed from the consent agenda. Takes us to 16, board announcements. You can see the dates for September, October, November, and December. Nothing out of the ordinary there. And we will then go to committee reports. Mr. Ratliff is not present tonight. Let me get my extracurricular. Thought about that earlier. And I know we're kickstarting, I don't know of an athletic group that's not fired up and ready to go yet. And then also, last Friday, you recognizing those groups, the hard work that they've put in over the summer months, whether it was 95 to 100 degrees or pouring down rain. They've been
One of those two.
Yes, they've had the tremendous opportunity to prepare for all sorts of weather during their seasons. But I know that the student athletes are excited. And again, just the tremendous support that they get from home and from the community itself. And, you know, they exemplify student athletes and putting the student first. It's not just something that we say around here. It's something that our kids actually are able to execute. And we have seen that in terms of, you know, the performance both on the field or on the court, and then as well as in the classroom as well. I do not have my notes available for the extracurricular, but as everybody else is talking, I'll try and dig those out too. So, buildings and grounds.
Yeah, we met last Monday. Jake and his team reviewed their accountability scorecard from last school year, and just think it's a good opportunity for us as board members to learn about what goes into their day-to-day jobs. And I think whether it's Jake or whether it's Drew or Tiffany or whomever else presented, they did a tremendous job of explaining that to us and where they achieved and where they fell short. So appreciate the team taking the time to review that with Ms. Dyer and I. Summer foods, we had a good report from Tiffany and Donnie. I believe they said over 230,000 meals were served this summer to our families. Significant increase over last year, and trying to figure out more opportunities for next year as well. Mentioned the TAP playground installation. Had a update from Mr. Murphy on the health center. We obviously mentioned the MOU, the 2 MOUs with transportation. We had Jake update us on a potential issue at Benjamin Harrison regarding a chilled water pipe underground that he and his team are exploring the best possible ways to repair or remedy that situation. We're talking costs up of just about anything over the district. Drew updated us on the cost of Chromebooks. It's about a $182 increase over last year in what it would cost to repair and replace. So he and his team in the technology department are looking at ways where we can mitigate needing to order as many this year, specifically at Grant when it comes to testing, and I believe he's working with Gary Lee and so forth on ways to figure that out. The bus routes are posted, which are great, so families can get online and take a look at bus routes. And the lunch menu for August is up and running for elementary, middle, and high school.
That helps you out,
That helps
correct?
me out a
Yep.
lot. Now I'm just waiting for September. So those are up, and I'm sure they'll be distributed tomorrow. Mr. Kearns reported on a few updates with the facilities in terms of extracurriculars. Flagpoles, Mr. Kearns, any update there? We good for Friday? Perfect. Okay, wonderful. Mr. Kearns also provided an update on the Luxido light system. It's installed. He was learning how to navigate it a little last week with the help of a local professional, so hopefully we're ready to go for the first volleyball game. I'm sorry? Okay. Then our next meeting is September 14th at 3 p.m. at East Church Street. I believe that's pretty much what we talked about.
Gotcha, thank you. Curriculum.
Curriculum, we met on August 10th. We talked about, again, the accountability scorecard and went through all of those. We talked about CTE, which is our career tech, and all the changes that are coming in career tech education. We talked about a new AI framework that is coming that was required by law in terms of when our students are allowed to use it, when they're not. We talked to preschool, the curriculum. We got a curriculum update for that. We talked about some upcoming events for Marion City Schools, after school intervention, the YMCA 21st Century Grant, which the YMCA is now running. We've always had a partnership, but they're running it more. That'll be at GW in Garfield. And we talked about local projection, local report card projections, and what our expectations are for that. And early. My notes say early, and obviously I missed something there. Early literacy changes, thanks. I'm like, early something. Gary Lee was talking too fast. So our early literacy changes with House Bill 19 and House Bill 276. And we got an update on the branding committee and some of the stuff that they had done. So it was a very long meeting, but it was a very good meeting. And so we will meet again on Monday, September 14th at 4 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. Finance.
Wait, did I miss anything?
Whoops, sorry.
Did you say that each school would have some kind of an after-school kind of a program depending on, right? Each school is going to have something depending on how they frame it and
So
how they
we-
design it?
Yeah, we will use our federal funds, Title I, to have intervention support at all of our schools, with the exception of GW and Garfield, because the 21st Century
Is already
program
there.
can fund that for those schools. So it'll look different at every school based on their budgets and student needs, but there will be intervention support for our students.
After school.
Okay, Finance.
So Finance met on the 13th, and all of the stuff that we have seen so far, that we have already had is what basically we went over. There's just one more thing that I want to throw out there, because, on my financial stuff here, House Bill 15, in House Bill 15, public utilities are going to start paying less in taxes. So think about every time your utilities go up, it's like your utilities are going to go up, but the utility companies are going to pay less to schools. And again, these are laws that are being passed by our state legislature, and we wonder why public education is in trouble. So yes, they're going to increase our bills, and yes, the utility companies are going to pay less in taxes. So again, it's one of those things that puts us behind the 8 ball.
Anything else from Finance?
And our next meeting will be September 17th. It'll be a week later because of the Popcorn Festival. Did I miss anything, Evan?
Okay, I want to jump back to extracurricular. These are our meetings. Coach Kearns had informed us again of Foot Ohio and the role that they are continuing to play here in this community, and so willing to do so, and having a tremendous impact on our kids and their learning of the game of soccer as it grows and grows and grows. There are a lot of different camps and trips and workouts. Obviously, this summer, as we talked about, everybody working so hard. Flag football, in case you didn't hear, is now an officially recognized sport in the state of Ohio. So we are taking a look at that and the options for Harding High School. Again, a lot of different camps at the middle school and the elementary schools. We did host the Drum and Bugle Corps again at Harding Stadium. Thank you for Jacob Hartman's involvement in that. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the Prairie Festival that's coming up on September 5th at Harding High School. And you talk about collaborating with different people and groups in the community, working with OSUM, Marion Parks Department, Marion Recycling, Pheasants Forever, Presidential Gardeners, etc., to organize a day-long event with Marion Harding High School as the hub of the event. Vendor tables, tours, games, food, trucks, etc. will be parts of the event. We'll use a city school bus for tours of Colonial Acres, Clarendon Prairie, and OSUM Prairie as well. And if people don't realize Sean Kearns' green thumb and the impact that he has had around this community, you need to get out there and see that too. So we're also given numerous coaching updates, getting ready for fall sports. Jamie Rollins is always busy in terms of choir updates and their camp as well. Evan had already mentioned a lot of the facility updates with the flagpoles, long jump repair, fitness center, all of that good stuff. Some Hall of Fame updates. That is still very much a work in progress. I know that's being worked hard on. A lot of not a lot, but some international trips coming up. Continued fundraising, especially through Bingo and Knights of Columbus. Can't thank them enough for the relationship that continues to grow. Concession stand doing well, and then signage and benches, you name it. There's just so much going on in the extracurricular department. So sorry I didn't have that for you at the beginning. For policy and personnel, very similar for us last Monday, where Dr. Kinney presented to us the district goals for 26, 27, and not only what we're shooting for, but what we did last year. And we hit a lot of our targets. There were a few that we fell short on, but considering all the decisions that had to be made, it was still a great year for personnel. And one of the things that we are definitely tracking, in terms of chronic absenteeism, but also staff retention. And that's something I personally have liked to see, retaining the people, getting them here, and then keeping them here. And Woody Hayes, you win with people, but you win with good people. You win with great people. And if, as we've heard so many times tonight, you're asked to do more with less, we can't afford not to bring in more great people and keep them here. So thank you for the work that everybody's doing with that too. So I think that basically covers the committee meeting. Legislative liaison, everybody's favorite time. Ms. Swanger.
So I've mentioned a couple, and due to length, I'm not going to mention anymore. There are a couple things that we are keeping our eyes on, that we're just watching, and we're waiting to see what happens with those. So when something else comes up, I'll let you know.
Thank you for that. Takes us to agenda item 18, policy readings and approval. These will be the final reading of the 2 board policies that were presented last month. Policy 243004, creating extracurricular department, dealing with its structure, and policy 5330, the use of medications. And superintendent recommends approval of those policies. I'll make a motion to do so. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Weidman.
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer.
Yes.
Ms. Swanger.
Yes.
Mr. Guyer.
Yes.
Do we have any need to go into executive session? Okay. Mr. Murphy, I know it's late, and I'm going to ask this. Would you prefer that we formally read the resolution concerning the non-transport? We passed the resolution, but I didn't read it aloud. That's fine? Gotcha. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. With that now being said, do we have a motion to adjourn at 8:11 p.m.?
I will make that motion.
Second?
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Weidman.
Yes.
Mrs. Dyer.
Yes.
Ms. Swanger.
Yes.
Mr. Guyer.
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks for coming.